Hi there. My name is Heather Bucalos, and I'm a registered nurse. And today I'm talking with Rachel James from A Time to Heal Massage Therapy in Walton, New York. So, hello, Rachel.
Hi there.
Hi. So, Rachel is a massage therapist, but she's also a certified massage doula. Did I get that right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so today we're going to be interviewing Rachel and asking her a little bit more about what a massage doula does to help women who are expecting, to help families who are expecting a baby. Um, we're going to ask her some questions, what moms should be looking for when they're looking for a doula, what questions she should be asking her doula. So let's get right into it, starting with the questions. And so where does the word doula come from?
It comes from the Greek word, which means woman who serves, and was actually used to describe the help a woman needs after she gives birth. So that's considered a postpartum doula today. So they would go into the home and help with cooking and like cleaning while the mom kind of gets adjusted to life with baby. I'm a labor doula, which is a little different. So I'm there during delivery. And that's my role.
And you're a massage doula. So to me, that means that you're going to be giving some massages during labor, because that sounds really nice.
Yes, I absolutely can do that during delivery. I'll give a massage since I'm the licensed massage therapist. In addition to helping with repositioning, suggesting position changes, talking through a visualization, give counter pressure, use a rebozo, which is like a Mexican shawl that's used with doula work, or even just let them squeeze my hand. So yeah, there's a lot of physical support, but that means that my massage skills can really come in handy during that time.
That sounds like a great overlap of those two arts. So we know that the doula works with pregnant moms and moms who are delivering, like you just said. So who mostly do you help? Do you mostly help moms who are in labor or after delivery?
I'm specifically a labor doula, so I get called when they go into delivery, and I work with them through their labor. And then if they wanted a postpartum doula, that would be somebody else's role.
Okay. So here's a big question. A lot of people are familiar with the term doula these days, more so now than they have been in the past, I feel like. Some people are not really clear about the differences in the responsibilities between doula in the labor and delivery room and the registered nurse in the delivery room. I know personally I've been asked, if I say, oh, I used to work in labor and delivery, say, oh, are you a doula? And so that to me tells me that they know that where doulas work, which is a great thing. But maybe they're not 100% clear on the differences in the roles and responsibilities. So can you help clarify some of those responsibilities when helping a laboring mother in the hospital?
Sure. So like I said, I do some of the physical support, certainly. And a doula is not meant to replace your partner's role, because a lot of people want their partner in there with them. But I'm there to enhance it, really. Studies actually show that when a doula is present, the laboring person has about 50% more physical support than without. And that means not just from the doula, but their partners are also a lot more likely to be actively hands-on helping. And the person delivering can use a lot of support. So having just that one extra person there who can be objective, who can help you slow down to make your decisions. Make sure you understand all of that information that's being thrown at you in medical jargon. Make sure you know what your choices are. That can be really important in making the birthing experience something to forget versus something to really cherish. Personally, I'm on call from 37 weeks until delivery. Once I'm told they're in labor and want me there, I'll either meet them at home or where they're delivering. We've decided beforehand, and ask them the entire time, what do you need? That's my role, to ask throughout the entire thing, what do you need? A lot of the work I do is emotional preparation for delivery prior to. So I do 2 pre-consultations. The first is to get to know them, let them know kind of what I do, and let them decide if we're compatible. The second is meant to look more at medical history and how that might come into play, discuss situations that arise and how we would react to that, talk about how they like to handle stress, give them information that might help allay some of the fears that they might have thinking ahead to delivery. And then afterwards, I stay about an hour to make sure they're settled in, have what they need. And then I'll do a post-consultation about 10 days after delivery just to see how they're doing, if they need anything, any resources that I can give them. But one thing is, like you said, I am different from a nurse. I'm also not a midwife. I won't be checking the cervix. I'm not delivering the baby. I'm not taking blood pressure. My sole concern is the person delivering the baby and how they're faring, rather than the baby, I guess. And I don't push my beliefs on anyone. That's not my role. Whatever their philosophy is for approaching childbirth, that's what I'm there to support. Whether it's medically based, natural, a combination, that's absolutely not my call. That's not my role. My role is solely to be supportive to the person delivering.
So you're not going to give advice to them and say, you should really be doing this, or, I think they told you the wrong thing there. You should have made a different decision. You're there to support them with
Right.
the decisions that they make.
Sometimes I make sure they have a little bit more information because there's a lot going on. So remembering everything that they've read in their, what to expect when you're expecting book is not always at the forefront of their minds. But that would be it. I wouldn't give my opinion. I'm not inserting any of that. I'm just making sure they have all the information they need to make an informed decision that they're going to be happy with.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Yeah, I know even when the dads are in the room, or the other partner is in the room, or even another family member is in the room, it can be very overwhelming for them, and they get tired, and it's always helpful to have, that another person there to remind the whole group and kind of regroup people together.
Yeah, and I've got their back.
What's that?
And just so they know, I've got their back no matter what.
That's awesome. Okay, our next question. What kind of training does a doula go through?
The certification process is going to vary a little bit based on the organization. DONA is a really popular one. It's an internationally acclaimed organization that most people have heard of. But I was certified through the Somatic Institute, which is meant specifically for massage therapists who want to become doulas. Regardless of who you're certified through, there's generally a requirement, though, to attend an entire series of childbirth education classes, a whole book list that you're going to read, writing assignments, and at least 3 births that you're going to attend and assist as like an internship doula without getting paid.
Okay, so you definitely have experience with a birth, and then you have scientific information that lays kind of like on top of your experience. And so you're not just coming into this like, oh yeah, I've been to a birth before, I've helped my sister out, and I'm gonna help you. So
if somebody's marketing their services as a certified doula, that means that they've had some sort of educational background. What's nice about mine is that because I'm already a massage therapist, the anatomy and physiology was already included in my education, and I think that was the difference. So that was kind of nice. I could kind of speed through and go over that a little bit.
Because you're already a professional in the health arena of things.
So I already am a body worker and understand how it works. So that part was kind of brushed over very quickly, which was nice because I am a little bit more affiliated and, have a lot more understanding of that to start with.
Mm-hmm. Because some doulas, they're not massage therapists, or they don't have a background necessarily professionally in the health or sciences, but that doesn't mean that they can't be a doula. It just means that they don't have that overlapping level.
Right. So like you said, somebody, they've helped their sister and they found out that they loved it. They can become a certified doula. They do have to go through the certification process though. And that's going to be when they get a little bit more education based from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people aren't very inspired after they've had their own birth experience or helped someone with their birth experience. So
I would agree.
It's a great option for them. Let's see, next question. And you might have already touched on this when you mentioned getting together with the mom at around 37 weeks. But when do moms need to, or this is kind of like a two-part question. When should a mom come to you when she's interested, or family come to you when they're interested in employing a doula for their delivery?
So probably the best time to start thinking about whether or not you want a doula and who it's going to be is going to be during your second trimester. You're starting to think a little bit more about some of the big decisions you're going to make in terms of where you want to deliver, who's going to deliver you, things like that. But also it gives you time to consider who you're going to be working with and get to know them, see if you're comfortable with them. And then it's not going to be kind of too late to fill the doula schedule too, because a lot of us don't want to overbook. You know, there's quite a window for when somebody's going to deliver, and we don't want to have too many people at once, just so that we can be there 100% for someone. So during the second trimester into, I would say, the beginning of the third, any later than, oh gosh, maybe like 30 weeks is pushing it. I'd say it's okay, but like 33 weeks is really, you're unlikely to find somebody who is going to be available, even like with personal schedules. You know, we take vacations too. So you just really want to make sure you have it booked beforehand so that they know when you're due and that they can be available for that duration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and plus you're a massage therapist also, so you have a few different roles and responsibilities that you need to make time for, which is important. You want to be there for, you know, both clients.
Yeah, but in that case, my regular clients know that my doula clients come first. I've never had an issue with calling them and saying, hey, sorry, someone just went into labor, we're going to have to reschedule you. I give them, you know, a $10 discount on their rebooking, and they don't really have an issue with it. My doula clients come first, which is nice because you don't know when baby's going to want to come.
And your massage clients probably know how amazing it feels, and they're like, yeah, definitely have you at her delivery.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. All right. So, and that kind of leads us into our next question about questions ahead of time. So questions for mom's doctor or family's their OBGYN, their midwife. What do they need to tell their midwife ahead of time? Do they need to talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to have a doula in the room? Is that something that they should ask on their hospital tour? You know, is it okay if I have another person here? Is it okay if the doula is here? Do they have to have that conversation with their provider? And if so, when should they do that?
That's definitely something to ask. I would say as soon as you know exactly where you're going to deliver, just because sometimes it depends on the hospital. Some policies are really open about it, but you want to know if the doula counts as a person in the room, because sometimes we don't, which is nice. But sometimes there's a limit on how many people are in there, so you do want to know if they count or not. But even if they don't count as people, you still want to let your doctor or midwife know ahead of time. It's useful to know who will be there, but it's also nice for them to know that there's going to be that continuous educated support there. If there's any issues, there's not going to be any kind of hemming and hawing. There's immediately going to be a call for a doctor or midwife to be there right now if it's an emergency. So it's definitely something that you should share. I've heard a little bit about hospital staff not being thrilled about having a doula there, but it's not been my experience in any of the places I've been. I think it comes from like that old-fashioned like hippie, you know, they're only going to say that you can be non-medicated, and I don't think that's something that is as prevalent anymore. There's definitely, you know, like I said, my role is to support whatever they need or want, rather than push any kind of philosophy on them.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're coming in there with like voodoo magic spells and like
I mean, if somebody wanted me to, I'm sure I could accommodate, but no. Generally speaking, no. I've not done that so far.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit earlier about my labor and delivery experience as far as being a nurse in labor and delivery for a little while, and how I always felt if there was a doula in the room, they were very, very helpful because the nurse can't be in the room with mom 100% of the time. Sometimes the nurse has another patient next door. And it's really nice to just know that there is someone there for mom and the family. And it's great for another person like the doula to remind the other support system, like the other parent or the other family member or support person who's in the room, to, okay, maybe you want to go take a break. You know, you haven't had anything to eat in 5 hours since you've been here. You know, why don't you go get a sandwich or go get some water? So that's really nice to be able to trust somebody else in the room that's going to stay with mom and stay with the family members. And
which the nurse might not know either how long they've been there because of shift changes. So it is nice. It's continuous.
yeah, that's true. And there was another thing that I was going to add real quick. When moms are admitted to the hospital, they usually ask who's going to be in your room when you deliver. So right at the time of admission is a great time for mom to say, my partner, or, you know, grandma of the baby, and my doula. My doula's name is so-and-so. And it really develops a nice relationship with all of the people who are helping mom with the delivery. You know, if the nurse knows the doula's name, and it's just a nice feeling of togetherness, I guess, is kind of the gist. Working together.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What types of questions should parents ask when they're looking for a doula to work with them, when they're interviewing a doula who's going to be at their delivery? What kinds of questions should they be asking?
So they're going to want to know what exactly they're getting, how many consultations there are, if they're willing to do more, if asked, how long they're on call for, when do they meet them when they go into delivery, where do they meet them, how long are they going to stay, are they charged by hour, is it a flat rate, what services come included. I mean, that financial talk is very important. I wouldn't say it's tacky at all to be upfront about that, because it's a huge part of your life. It's going to be a little bit of an expense. So again, you want to know what you're getting. Is there any package pricing? If they offer other services, is there a deposit required? Payment plans available? Do they have any insurance information? For example, I have an NPI number for reimbursement purposes. You're going to want to ask what happens if the doula can't make it. People get sick, the weather could be bad, something can happen. You're going to want to know if there's a backup doula, and if you can meet them, what happens with the payment if they don't make it, or if there is a backup doula that you're using instead. You also want to know if they actually already know the doctor or midwife that they're working with, if they have a relationship with the facility where you're delivering. Just because it's, you know, if they have any insider information from working there previously, that's kind of nice. You can also ask if this is your plan, will they attend a planned cesarean? Because there's still a lot of emotional support that can be given prior to, as well, like prior to delivery, as well as like right before. You know, there's a lot of information that can be hard to process. So that's something that is always nice to know. And also, what other local resources are they connected with, aware of, whether it's for breastfeeding, or if there's any baby services that come after, if they have any kind of issues, or even just like childcare. Also, everybody wants to know if they have a special circumstance or a certain worry. It's good to ask, have you ever attended a delivery that fill in the blank? You know, if they're having twins or multiples, or is for a gay couple, or is for a trans couple, or that became a cesarean or became an emergency cesarean, or didn't make it to the hospital, or that ended tragically, and you want to know how that was handled, because that's your special circumstance, you know, or that's your fear, or that's your, you know, that's something that you're thinking about. So you're going to want to know how it was handled if it was something that's come up.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Every pregnancy is different, even for the same mom. And so You want to know how your doula is going to be able to react or handle different situations like those. That's a good point. And I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't any, and before I get to that next quick question, it just shows you how much there is to talk about with the doula before actually delivering a baby. So that's a great reason to learn about the doula in the very beginning of the pregnancy, or when you're starting to make plans, like you said, the second trimester, or even before you even get pregnant. Like a lot of moms are doing research before they are even pregnant, when they're planning their family and talking to their partner about these things. So it seems like there's a lot to consider when thinking about getting a doula.
Certainly.
I just wanted to make sure I did get all the information that you had pointed out about why you should consider getting a doula, even if your partner or family member is going to be coming to the hospital with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's important for them to know that I'm not there to replace the partner at all. Your partner's going through an incredible emotional and physical trial, and you're also very emotionally invested. And I'm not. I love my work, but that's not my favorite person in the world right now going through something really difficult. I can remain more objective. I can remind you of your strengths, your options, your hopes as a partner, while also bringing an educated approach to the physical support. As a massage therapist, I know how to push and pull rather than muscle through, which helps you save your own energy, which you're going to need for the long hours of delivery. I've been in anywhere from 6 to 17 hours, and that doesn't even run the spectrum. So it's good to know that somebody else is there to have your back as well as your delivering partner.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Yeah. And when mom is interviewing her doula, is there any reason that the partner shouldn't come with her to that interview? I mean, it seems like it should be like a family or unit kind of experience when interviewing the doula.
Yeah, so sometimes the pre-consultation I'll do with both partners or just with the mom. It just depends on their schedule. But that second pre-consultation especially, I really like to make sure that, anybody who's going to be there is going to be there, or at least, them and their partner have somebody else because of some of the things that we cover. We're covering a lot of the situational could-bes. So having somebody else on board with knowing what our plan is and, what the possibilities are and how we want to react to that as a cohesive group is really important.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for answering some of those hot topic questions about doulas in labor and delivery and immediately postpartum. Absolutely. Now you work in Walton, New York, is that correct?
I do.
Okay. And if people want to learn more about your massage therapy practice and more about your doula practice, some of the services that you offer, how can they get in touch with you?
So they can look at my website because I'm in session often. That's a good way to kind of get an overview. And that's a time to heal massage.massagetherapy.com. Or if they do want to give me a call, it might go to voicemail and I'll have to give you a call back. But that's 607-269-5020.
All right. So online.
I was going to say, they can also catch me on Facebook. I don't mind getting, the Facebook business page messages. I try to respond to those as quickly as I can.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people go to Facebook to find the business profile and then they'll go to the website. And I was looking at your website yesterday and I noticed that you have, you're very upfront with the information. You have the cost for your doula services and then different costs for different service breakdowns, like if you want massage with your doula service, if you don't, how many massage sessions, so you could do like add-ons, right? You could add massage before baby arrives, like prenatal massage.
Which doesn't count for when they're actually in delivery. That's That goes along with it.
So she'll get the massage before and during.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for spending some time answering those questions today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully that kind of answers some burning questions that moms might have these days about doulas, because doulas, I feel like, is an emerging topic in labor and delivery and pregnancy these days. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking with you, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Great. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.